All right, guys. Yeah, we're back, and thanks for coming back and joining me. This is an idea that I've, kind of toyed around with since way back in alpha, the early alphas, and that is a water park resort. So, if to new people that may be watching this, and may have just actually got the game, you might be asking yourself, well, I don't remember seeing, we don't have water parks or anything like that in this yet. And that's true. So this is all, I know it kind of almost sounds a little depressing to say it, but all of this is pretty much useless. Because obviously the guests, they can't get into swimming suits, and they don't have, there actually isn't any, official slides or anything like that yet. So no water park soaked expansion, whatever you call it. So this is just kind of, something that's kind of always just interested me, just the whole concept of, this is kind of like, I would say this is a mixture of, Volcano Bay and the Alani Resort, the Disney Resort in Hawaii, and just all kinds of different water park concepts, all mixed together, with the main premise being the resort is actually in. You never have to leave the resort. So there's a hotel right here, actually on property. So the Opainalu is the hotel here, and it's actually gotten quite big. This has really grown from just being the little kind of like the lodge up on the cliffs that it was. Took one of my old facades that I was using to kind of make an indoor raft ride that I never ended up finishing, and I've actually turned it into like an aquarium facade. So yeah, you've kind of got the aquarium can be accessed from the hotel, so it's kind of like all one big complex. And another thing about this park, what I wanted to do is I just kind of wanted to be a little more legit with it, even just like doing like I was thinking I'm going to do a lot of backstage stuff here. And one of the parts that I really made a lot of progress with this weekend was the parking area, and just getting the monorail and all that, just all of that set up. So this is really helping me focus, and it's really kind of driving me to take the backlot stuff a little more serious. And I pulled a Euthyrus here and started a whole big giant parking lot. Not as cool as his parking lots, but for me, it was something that I've wanted to try for a while, but just never really sat down long enough, or had a park, really developed long enough to make a sensible parking lot. And so yeah, that was really kind of what my focus was this weekend. And another thing too, and I'm sure you guys will agree with me on this, I couldn't tell you how many times I actually scrap monorails just because they don't look right. You can never, like, they always look out of place, and you kind of almost want to compare it a lot of times with Disney's monorail, just how cool it is, and how it goes through the middle of the Contemporary, and it's set up just so cool. And a lot of times I just the monorail seems really intrusive. I don't know if it's because I make it go like a lot of times I really like the idea of the monorail like going through the park, kind of more like Disneyland instead of Disney World. I love that how Disneyland, the monorail's really low, like really low compared to Disney World, and that idea has always been appealing to me. But it just really, when you take it through the park, like I've tried to take it through the park, it takes too much attention. It just doesn't. There's no. It really doesn't allow for any resting points going through the park. So that was one thing that I really wanted to hit on this weekend, was to have this monorail actually go over the roof of the aquarium, and you can exit from the monorail. It takes you straight from the parking lot to the upper lobby of the hotel up here. So yeah, you can go right from the parking lot to the lobby and, you know, get registered and get checked in. So I thought that was a really cool part and one of the very, very, very few monorails that I haven't scrapped. And it actually, to me, it makes sense. You know, you've got the entrance over here where everybody's pulling in, and you know they're going to get on the trams, or they get up in the monorail station, and it like coherently makes its way through the tunnel there and brings you around the lake right into, actually there it goes right there, right into the upper lobby. And these monorails, you know, Sam and them did an awesome job on these. They just glide really, really cool. And yeah, so I just thought it would be, you know, cool to help tell the story here, and, you know, move guests efficiently from the parking structure, the parking area, and get them over to the hotel quickly, and they can get in and start enjoying their day. A big shout out to 3P Music. He was the one that said, I actually was showing some screenshots, and he's like, oh, with no swim up bar. So yeah, this is his idea. So I thought, well, yeah, we got to have a swim up bar. So here is the little Shark Reef Bar where you can go in and grab your mojitos and wine and your shots and your Gatorade and your water and sodas if you don't drink. But another thing, got to start on. Actually, got to really start on. This was that splash pad that you may have seen a while ago that I was working on. Brought it over into the park, just like a lot of this stuff. That's another thing that ended up being so cool about this park is a lot of stuff that that I had let die. Has really found new life in this park. As you can see, the monorail making its way back to the resort. But that is what's so cool about this, because even the resort, I'm sure if you guys are new, you've never seen it, but if you've been around for a while, you remember this was the old Cherokee Lodge that I was doing on a totally separate map. So everywhere you look, it is parts that had died off and I had never touched again, old blueprints. And yeah, they have definitely found new life in this water park. Actually, this unnamed water park. I couldn't even tell you what I want to call this yet. So yeah, that is something I'll definitely have to look into and give some thought to, because a name change is not really something you want to do often. So if when I come up with a name, I definitely think it needs to stick. So, but yeah, you know, a lot of things here. Like, remember my water park experiment park? These slides, they come from it. This like this boat right here, this just come from a piece of concept art. I literally just Googled water park concept, and they've got this really cool ship on there with all kinds of slides coming out of it, and the kids can you know, they climb all up in the ship as they make their way to the slide. And really just awesome idea. This right here was saved. This was kind of like my my ship tree house. So got one slide coming out of it right now, but I've planned to have some different maybe enclosed slides coming out of it, and you know, really kind of beef up this little complex right here. So that back there is the newest area, so it's not totally finished yet. But yeah, so this is my new my newest obsession. I know I've got to jump in there and finish that Pirate Dark ride for you guys. But other than that, you know, I have really just been full steam ahead with this. This has kind of re-energized me. I know we kind of mentioned a little bit how Planet Coaster may have, you know, kind of just seems like it's kind of slowed down right now while we're waiting for this update 1.4. And so this has really been an awesome, just an awesome project to kind of get me back focused and get me back in to Planet Coaster. So, like I said, this has kind of been my my obsession for probably I don't know. I've probably been working on this for about a week and a half, maybe going on 2 weeks now. Kind of did it silently at first. And now, you know, then obviously if you follow me on Instagram and Twitter, I put out a bunch of pictures, but this is the first actual footage that I've captured. And yeah, I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it. I know, you know, like I said in the beginning, a lot of you guys are probably going to be like, yeah, but it's totally useless. There's no way the guests can use it. But, you know, that's really not the point for me. The point is, that something like this is possible. Just the thought of building a water park, and who knows, one day Sam and them actually release a water park, you know, like a water park DLC. All I have to do is go in and just destroy these little fake slides, and bam, I'm ready to go. I've got my water park already set and good to go. So anyways, guys, yeah, this is kind of like the first little part. I've done a lot of work on this. Didn't want to feel kind of like the pressure of the time lapse or the camera. I've just been having a lot of fun with it this week. Actually, these last 2 weeks. So I don't know how much I'll film of time lapses. I know you guys like to see how I actually do it and stuff, but I've really kind of don't want to, because I kind of like sometimes when I film time lapses, I self-judge myself. Like I'll, you know, if I pick a piece, or if I totally build up something big and then, you know, decide to destroy it, I feel you guys are like, oh, why did he do that? Why would he? So when if I don't do time-lapse videos, a lot of times I spend more time on the areas and what I'm trying to build. Whereas if I do a time lapse, it's kind of in the back of my head, oh, I gotta hurry up, I gotta get this done. You know, I don't want this video to be an hour long. So this park you may not get many time lapses out of. Maybe once it gets towards the end and I'm just doing some cleanup work and path work and coming up with the last little bit of ideas, may do some time lapses, but for now I'm just going to kind of keep it going how it's going. But as you can see, I've still got a ton of space. So if we look back at the resort, you see how far that is away, and I am just now getting to the corner. So I think it is going to be pretty awesome. Don't know, might actually add some rides, maybe like the whirly rig, or try to theme out some rides around a water park, just so we can get the guests in here and we can actually like have the people walking around. Because, you know, in this game, that's one of my favorite things, is just to watch the flow of the people and, you know, all the different styles of guests there are. So it'd be really cool to kind of at least figure out some ways, maybe even hide some. If I don't end up doing any rides or any coasters or anything, may go ahead and like you've got right here on one of my snow cone and smoothie shops, at least get some shops open, or maybe towards the back of the park to actually draw some of the guests back there, so we can at least have some motion and you know, add a little life to the park. So anyways, guys, yeah, like I said, this is my my new little water park resort idea that I've just started with. And yeah, thanks for coming out and hanging out with me here. And like always, smash that like button if you end up enjoying this video, and subscribe for more Planet Coaster content. And we will continue this usefulness, or this uselessness, I should say. But it doesn't matter. I'm still having a ton of fun putting together a water park. It's been one of my biggest exciting things I've done in Planet Coaster in a long time. So anyways, guys, yeah, that's it. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you. See ya.